is Alice, and I am a peer support worker working in the Massachusetts Recovery Centre. So a little bit about me and my background. I lived with eating disorder for over a decade, and I think in line with some of the talks you heard this morning, I was part of the population with eating disorder at quite a young age, still in primary school. And I suppose one of the things that kind of makes me so passionate about my role is upon first receiving help when I was maybe 15 years old. I was told it's basically going to GP, well, you know, Alice, you're going to go with this for the rest of your life. It's just going to be about managing this and, you know, getting on top of it when things get bad. And I think I carried that narrative with me all the way into my early 20s, where I suppose, you know, with identity functional eating disorder and all these different pieces, I had no faith in my ability to recover. So I suppose taking on these roles as a peer support worker, that's the one thing I like to embody, that recovery is absolutely possible. It's not just this myth, it's not just this thing that we see online, it's not, I suppose, a chance. I suppose I recognise my own privilege and that I have access to support, I have access to help, and I was very, very fortunate to have a family by my side that supported me. But ultimately, I suppose it isn't down to my desire to change, my ability to change, and my belief in my ability to change, just something I'm getting to inspire and all those I work with. So what is peer support? Peer support is, of course, what we do when we recognise our shared experiences of disadvantage and distress, make interpersonal connection on that basis, and come together and learn from each other. So some of my early experiences of peer support within inpatient units with people in recovery from eating disorders or drinking for eating disorders. And I suppose I was usually surrounded by people that were massive sources of inspiration for me. And massive supports, even having that shared connected experience of you understand what I'm going through, or understand what you're going through. And, you know, at times, yeah, maybe you blind and people blind, but there was other times where, you know, you got these invaluable insights from other people. But in terms of formalised peer support and peer support work, a peer support worker is someone who's able to utilise their lived experience of mental health difficulties and their support skills to assist their receivers in their recovery. Peer support workers draw on their lived mental health experience to support others. They offer hope and the possibility of recovery to service users, provide emotional and practical support, empower service users in self-management of their recovery, and act as an recovery resource to the service and the team. So, I suppose from HSE documentation around what peer support work looks like, this is some examples of, I suppose, what the role of a peer support worker could look like on a day-to-day basis. I think a huge part of my role is promoting a sense of self-efficacy. It's the term I'm always coming back to, that faith in your ability to affect change in different areas of your life. And I suppose typically when someone has lived with an eating disorder for a long time, you're downtrodden by the others. You don't have faith in their ability to change. And yes, we can look at all the different factors in terms of environmental and access to treatment and different things like that, but I think faith in one's own ability to change, so incremental change throughout the recovery process, aids in the overall, I suppose, maintenance of change and achieving full recovery from eating disorder. So, a brief note, I suppose, on lived experience versus expertise by experience. I think when I started my own formal training in DCU, remember the first day, something that stood out to me was that, you know, everyone in this room has lived experience. But what this course enables us to do and allows us to do is formalise that experience, become an expert by experience, where we can be able to support others in their recovery. We can learn to use our story and our experiences in mental health difficulties in a way that's truly helpful, truly supportive. And I guess with the competitive nature of eating disorders and the constant kind of comparison, it's a delicate topic, I suppose, and learning how to navigate bringing your own lived experience into a conversation. And something I was very conscious of because of my own vulnerability to the comparison game when I was in recovery from eating disorder. It was always, I say they're not something like, etc. I don't want to use my experiences as a benchmark of how well one needs to become or anything like that. And I guess it's holding primary focus on the story of recovery, not a story of illness, a story of how I got to where I am now, not necessarily focus on where I used to be. But also that does come into the conversation in terms of building that shared empathy and understanding and trust with the client when you're trying to figure out where's the build rapport with anyone. But I suppose the key point being point number 2 is not just what worked for me, but developing an understanding of how and why this worked for me. And being able to, I suppose, tell stories in a conscious and, I suppose, methodical way, sharing your own experience insights, so that people feel supported, heard and understood, and maybe have a bit more of a framework of how we can move forward. Another thing I really one topic I was actually picked early this year that I will proceed in the next slide, but it's this concept of machine responsiveness and our ability to tune into the needs of another person based on experiences that we've been through. And I like this quote at the start: in what context are contributions based on lived experience inapt or irrelevant, or apt or relevant? And how do you resolve potential conflicts between claims derived from experiential knowledge and influence knowledge? And again, the emboldened piece on the second point, that subsequently lived experiences can be transformed to yield experience that can be used in the service of helping others to actually support people in their recovery. It is a skill, I suppose, that we need to build, and it takes practice, it takes time, but it is something that we can absolutely do against the application of our lived experience. And that's truly where expertise by experience lies. So yes, a person who solely rely on their own lived experience can simply project this onto another person that they're trying to help. Clearly not be a very good expert by experience. Responsiveness pertains to what matters to people, what the world looks like to them, what they notice, what affects them and moves them. It involves what people experience as relevant or meaningful, as attractive or dangerous, as inviting them to act or not. I think this also shows the other side, where for maybe the client engagement with a peer support worker, that they can see, I suppose, pieces of their own story, or pieces of their own experience in the person who's supporting them. And it kind of starts to get the cogs turning in your brain of, okay, recovery, what could that be like? What could that look like? And I suppose seeing someone take pride in their recovery, where for a lot of people, I think, particularly say with anorexia or in body image-based disorder, is the pursuit of self-worth. I think that's a huge retaining factor in the disorder. That's what we're looking for, a reason to believe in ourselves, maybe a reason to like ourselves, trust ourselves, keep ourselves safe. And something I'm always expressing to clients is that recovery actually delivered on all the false promises of my eating disorder in getting me to a place where I did believe in myself, I trusted myself, wanted more for myself, and sustain that through my actions. Some specific roles and responsibilities of peer support worker in the context of eating disorders. So I work closely alongside the nursing staff on my team, basically on the ground, on the floor, there to provide day-to-day support for residents, I suppose part of our residential program, day program, and just being able to get into contact throughout the day when clients are in distress, people need support, and they need somebody to lean on. And I also, along with dietitians and nursing staff, we sit in on meals, we actually eat with the clients and kind of model well-being behaviours and try to support them just by, this was sometimes a joke, but it's like trying to be on a talk show, you know, they're trying to maintain a conversation and have chats and different things, so just create a well-being environment for people, so that people have something to look towards when, obviously, we're at a table full of people with eating disorders and there's, you know, bad habits or different things with disorder practices that you can see. We have these concrete examples of what a healthy relationship with food looks like. Post-meal support, so we run this twice a day after lunch and dinner. I think it's a standard of practice has been, I was introduced to, I suppose, in my last bit of treatment, which I found to be extremely helpful, where I was given the space to find the language and develop the language to carry the weight of my experience when it was actually going on for me. Translating them to maybe discharge from the service, where I was able to communicate with my family and the people around me what meals were actually felt like for me, what the time after a meal felt like for me. So therapeutic groups, I run a goal-setting group, a recovery skills group, which is like psychoeducation and skills based, and weekend planning, weekly one-to-one peer support sessions with clients, snack challenges and outings. I suppose this is a unique thing that I can do where we venture out into the world together and we go to a coffee shop, we sit down and we just converse. We do a little bit, not too much planning, but a little bit of planning beforehand. And I think it enables clients to, I suppose, have that hands-on practice of what is being out in the world and feel like making choices in the moment around food and eating. And discharge planning, I suppose, something that, you know, a lot of my team members have seen a lot of people walk out of the doors of the treatment facility. I've walked out, I've left, I've gone home, I've gone back to my life and worked towards maintaining change after treatment. And I think that this is something that I suppose represents can be really, really valuable for clients on that front. So, what makes peer support effective in the context of eating disorder treatment? I suppose telling personal experiences through friendship from telling an illness story to a recovery story. This involves an identity transformation from being perceived as a victim or a patient to a person fully engaged with life and various opportunities ahead. I love this program, it really stands out to me in terms of what my role really stands for. Again, it's showing that, right, I want to say for my life, this was my identity, this is who I was, I couldn't see beyond that. But let's just look over here for a second. This is not what's available to you. How can you create a life worth living, a meaningful life for you, where you can maintain and sustain your recovery in the long term? Quoting the bottom here from Carolyn Costin, I suppose he would have been in the States one of the forefront of peer support model in terms of disability disorder treatment. She's got a long history of employing staff in various roles who have recovered from eating disorders, saying staff who have successfully accomplished recovery are often able to quickly establish that recovery does occur, and that one can lead a stable and productive life. Recovered staff members are able to become a concrete representation of the life at the end of the tunnel. Words can often be too abstract when patients are completely overwhelmed and defeated by the illness. Clinicians who successfully master recovery living breathing examples of recovery is attainable. Clinicians who have not walked this valley simply do not have much credibility. Not that they have none at all. I think that in my experience, professional experience from clinicians and different treatment teams, that support they've needed is obviously invaluable and obviously helped to get into where I am today. But I think this other example of, yeah, I've been there and I do kind of understand is really, really helpful in supporting people. The peer support worker can act as a role model for the recovery process, and through their work may instigate change in the organisation as a whole, as well as being a supplementary service. Some organisations don't work with peer support workers providing a unique service alternative to that provided by professional staff. So, service user benefits of peer support, I know we touched on them briefly, but from a couple of reports from the integration of peer support workers into Irish mental health services, we can see a profound impact from the inclusion of lived experience in people's treatment and having those touchstones in their treatment outside. Again, it's not all theoretical perspectives, it's tangible, this is real. Here I asked this week some of the clients in NEDRC to produce some examples of what peer support work has looked like for them and for them in their recovery. So one of the bottom left that really stands out for me, and I suppose actually I have to be on an emotional level myself. Peer support can make you feel heard and jump at the energy to speak. A peer support worker enables you to have full trust in all members of the team, as when they say, I know how you feel and you know it's sincere. If your eating disorder is the devil on your shoulder, a peer support worker is the angel on the other, and it's what you choose to listen to. I think this kind of made me feel like I was really doing my job right and come that sense of advocacy and again, I suppose reinforcing the fact that you have a choice here. You have a choice whether you listen to your eating disorder, or you have a choice as to whether you listen to the idea of the path forward. And again, I think this is a really, really difficult thing when you're recovering from eating disorder to maintain and sustain it, I suppose. Acknowledging your ability to listen to either, I think that's where recovery really begins. Recognising we have a choice, we have a say. I also was fortunate enough to get some quotes from some of my team members sharing their experience of what working with peer support workers has been like, and the value of them to the service. And I know my name is specifically mentioned here, let's just pretend it's a peer support worker instead. I think something I want to express as well is that with all the love for myself in the world, I don't think there's anything special about me that makes me particularly unique in my role or able to do my role. I think it's the fact that, yes, I've had specialist training, I've been invited into a service that has recovery at its core, and as well as that, like, I don't know, I think lived experience needs to have a place and needs to have a seat at the table. Whether it's for me, from somebody else, but again, when we can translate it into expertise by experience, that's when something really powerful happens. And let me see. More quotes from my team members, my wonderful team members who I couldn't do my job without. I think a really important thing to remember as well is we need to consider peer support work as a part of the team instead of this kind of island off to the side, not this us versus them. And again, that has definitely been my experience, but I've absolutely felt a part of the team in my experience, and I suppose perspective has not just been asked for, it's been demanded in a very, I suppose, helpful way, but I've also seen the impact of maybe some of the things I've said and how that's really helped people to adapt their practice or to develop deeper insight into certain aspects of the experience and the clients that we're trying to support. Considerations for successful integration of the role. The perfectionist within me is unfortunately still alive and well, so we'll ignore the fact that there's a bit of an overlap there. But the evidence is pointing towards peer support and mental health services most effectively manifesting as peer workers operating in paraclinical roles, competing or enacting existing clinical functions. Team readiness is a crucial building block for the advancement of peer support workers and in assisting the refocus of teams into a more recovery-oriented service. Before teams embark on any journey, it is crucial to establish whether there is starting from. Teams that are not in agreement as to the employment of peer support workers should refrain from doing so until they reach a consensus about the associated challenges. How to overcome such challenges and the benefits of the organisation. As previously mentioned, organisational readiness is crucial for peer support workers to be successful in their role. Whilst there is some evidence that peer support workers can challenge discrimination, promote positive language, emphasise strengths and possibilities, it is also clear that we can't do this alone. As I said before, I'm fortunate that I've never felt I've been doing this alone in my role, but I think in terms of bringing peer support work into the wider context of mental health treatment in Ireland, this is something we need to remember. This is something we need to hold at the centre of what we're doing. I'm supposed to ask myself why we're inviting peer support workers into it. So,